Hey, what's up, everybody out there in the world? It's your boy Josh Coleman, Mr. ESP, yada 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 yada. I don't know if this is officially a Camping with Coleman episode. I guess you could consider it that because you're kind of hanging out with me today. If you guys have noticed, I dropped a few more than 3 videos this week, and that's not going to happen all the time, but it may happen from time to time because when I feel like doing a video, I feel like doing a video. It's my channel, do what I want. So I felt, you know, whatever. If I want to break the rules, put out an extra video, I can do that. Because today I was kind of in a real good mood, you know, and things have been going good with the YouTube situation, and subscriber counts up, views are up, the growth rate is through the roof right now, and I am happy, and I am thankful to you guys for that, and I've been able to do some new things lately on here, and opened up some new avenues for me and stuff, and I'm really stoked. And so I kind of, you know, I've been thinking heavy on how I can give back to the RC community and everything, and there's no limit to who can do RC. Any age group, anybody can do RC. And so what today's going to be, because I'm already kind of going off, what today's going to be is kind of a recap of how I got into all this in the first place. What I want to do is I want to start at the beginning. How did I do this? How did I start with this? How did I get into this? Why am I still doing it? What are my goals? And do I consider myself successful? And all the questions that people ask me all the time, kind of. Just kind of want to hit on them a little bit. No, I'm not going to take up an hour of your time or anything like that. You know, this might be a 15-20 minute video. So, and yes, I am going to show some actual footage from me in Hawaii. We're going to talk about that because that's how all this started. It all started in Hawaii. As far as the YouTube channel goes, just a little background on me so you guys know me, you know who the hell I am and why you're even watching me in the first place. Yeah, I'm an RC lover since way back, no joke. But it's not just RC really. The roots are actually in motorsports. I just like motorsports.
He's got the door open. What?
Yeah. 1 foot.
That was sick, dude.
You guys that follow my Instagram, you read my little profile, you see the 3 things that I've always represented. My sponsors, you know, what I say isn't a direct representation of how they feel or anything like that. You know, there's no political indentations or whatever the words are, you know what I mean? I'm just a regular dude that's got a video camera and some toys, and I like to put videos up, and turns out people tend to like them. So I want to be honest with you guys and tell you who I am, who is Josh Elliott, and I feel that that's a very important part of me connecting with my audience. Joshua KAINE Elliott. I was born in 1984 in John Day, Oregon. April 21st, 4/21, 1984 was my birthday, and that answers why you guys see all the 421 stickers on my trucks and on my friends' trucks and everything. I kind of just started repping that as my magic number since that's the day I was born, you know, and it stuck with me ever since. And so I called, my team was Team 421. That was the guys that were always down to go cruising with me, always down to go crawl and hit some trails, just have a good time with the RC stuff, you know. And you guys all know who you are. I'm not going to go saying everybody's names. That's how that came to be. I was born in John Day. If you don't know where John Day, Oregon is, just look it up. It's nothing but bad stuff you're probably going to see about it. But the truth is, it's a nice little town. It's just, it's small. There's not a lot to do, so people get stir crazy. And, you know, when you get stir crazy, you tend to stir up a lot of stuff. But to be honest, that's my hometown. That's my family's town. That's where our ranch is. That's where I grew up, you know, that's where my roots are, and that's where all my friends still are to this day for the most part. And I love it. I love it. John Day is my home, and someday I'm planning on moving back there, and you know, maybe dying where I was born at. Who knows? And I can never not represent where I'm from. So yeah, I'm from John Day, Oregon, and I've got quite the reputation back there. So anyways, moving on from John Day. I don't want to talk about John Day. Yeah, I was born in John Day, but I've moved a lot of places, lived a lot of places. I've got a little brother named Devin Elliott. You can find him on Facebook too. He's crazy, man. He's awesome. I love him to death. He's just never dull, man. There's never a moment where you're like, oh, dude, you're lame. No, Devin's not lame. Devin's a shit, and he's my little brother. And you guys ever need a cool dude, just kick it with, go fishing with, shoot guns, go wheeling, talk the shit, man. Just, my little brother's the guy. He's the guy for that. I got a lot of cousins and stuff running around here. My cousin Billy grew up. He's my best friend. He lives right down the street, man, the other side of town. And without my family, I wouldn't be who I am. So shout out to my family, my wife. Everybody's seen my wife. You know, if you haven't, go back watch the video. She's beautiful. She's my world. She's the one that helps keep me going every day. And so shout out to my wife. And shout out to my mom. My mom is my motivation behind, not my motivation, she's my drive, man. She's my deep drive. She's the reason that I don't ever give up on anything. She pushed me hard, man. And yeah. She passed away in 2000. I was still a kid. I was going through a lot, and you know, I was a criminal. You know, I was a criminal when I was a kid. I had a bad record and all that, and I managed to clean it up. You know, I managed to get my act together, and you know, this might help somebody out there. I don't know. It might not. You guys might be clicking off already, unsubscribing, whatever, just because I'm telling you the truth. But I was a bad kid, man. I went through a lot, and I'm not going to incriminate myself on here, but I was a bad kid, not like most of you might have been a bad kid, but like some of you were bad kids, you know. The real bad kids, the kids that had special places they got sent off to. And so to anyone watching this that might be going through a thing, you know, that might be struggling, might be having a hard time, whether it's finding out who you are, with your money, you know, finances, maybe just family, you know, trying to figure out why your family is your family, why you're a part of that family, trying to figure out where you're going to be in 10 years, 5 years, maybe even tomorrow. Where you're going to sleep tonight, you know. Maybe you got cell phones and Wi-Fi and you're watching my videos, but you ain't got a place to sleep, you know. Don't give up. Never give up. If you give up, you can't win, man. So don't ever give up on anything. Sometimes you'll realize that certain things aren't for you, and you'll realize that certain things are holding you back, and you gotta let them go. But don't give up, you know. Just move forward, move on, move to the next thing. You know what I mean? Because there's always the next thing. There's always the next step. Path, it never ends. So, my path led me to Hawaii. I was living here in Bend, Oregon, and this is sometime later in my life after my mom passed. I wound up back in a bad situation, doing things I believed in but weren't quite legal yet. And I wound up having to leave. We left, and we wound up in Hawaii. But before we went to Hawaii, I went to school, and I got a mobile electronics certification. That's what they call it, MECP, and that's what stereo installers and people that install stereos and customize cars and stuff usually have to get. And so I went I went down to a school in Vista, California called Directed Electronics, and I got my MECP, and I took that, and a whole bunch of fresh motivation that I'm gonna have a real career and a real job. And a small opportunity I had, through one of my wife's friends. We moved out to Hawaii on nothing more than $500 and a couple backpacks full of clothes. And I don't have a clue what we were thinking. We just went for it. We get there, right? We touched down, and I went to work. Yeah, go figure, the job didn't work out. It backfired on me. And so I moved on from that. I ain't throwing nobody under the bus. I still got love for them. But I moved on from that and wound up going to a better position, working at a spot called Thunder Alley. And Thunder Alley was where I learned about cars. That's where I really got into cars. I got to build hot rods, and I got to build lifted trucks. And all you people that watch this that live in Hawaii, which I know there's a bunch of you brothers out there, and some of you from Hawaii that live in Oregon now too that watch this, in Vegas and other places, I lifted a lot of Toyotas. A lot of Toyotas, and I hate Toyotas, man. I'm a Jeep guy. But I spent a lot of time underneath Toyotas, putting lifts on them, stretching swampers over barrel-sized rims, and building Hawaiian style wheeling trucks, man, trail trucks, and it's pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience. I got to learn a lot. That's just it. We restored cars, and no, I'm not a pro by any means, and I forgot half of that stuff that I learned, but I retained enough to pass it down to RC. When we wound up leaving Hawaii, after living there for 4 years, I came back here and got back into the hobby industry. But while I was still in Hawaii, at the time I was driving truck for a garbage company. I wound up picking up a Axial AX10. That's what I got. I picked up an Axial AX10 Scorpion RTR. I don't remember the part number or whatever, but it was green, kind of like a monster truck body on it. It had chrome wheels, and it was just, to me, it was the coolest thing ever. And you think back now, it was horrid. It TVP chassis, and it just was nothing really that cool to brag about. But it was mine. It was my first rock crawler, and I had the intention of building it into a Jeep, because I had been watching some European dudes on YouTube that were building hard body Cherokees back in the day, before anyone in the U.S. was really hardcore on this. The Europeans were doing it. And I can't tell you where, so if you're watching this and you're over in Europe somewhere, you know who that was that I'm talking about. I apologize if and I apologize I don't have the info on it. But yeah, there used to be some hard body Cherokees. Some of you will remember that. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Black one and a white one, and they had hard body accessories for them, like the actual hard door handles and light guards, and just, it was sick. So anyways, it was cool because I drove a Grand Cherokee at the time, and I was four-wheeling every weekend out in Big Island, Kailua, Kona, Hawaii. I really wanted to build a scale Grand Cherokee to match my real Grand Cherokee, which just wasn't going to happen at the time. I didn't have the skill set or know that it was even possible to do such things, and I'd never even built a scale truck. I didn't know there were scale chassis or anything. I just wanted something to do on the weekends while I was out at the beach, so I would stop breaking axles and stuff and scratch and paint on my real Grand Cherokee. I wanted to have a scale version of that, and I couldn't find one. I couldn't figure out how to build one, but I found an Axial AX10, and I picked it up, and that was it. Game over. And that's how all this started, man. Eventually I realized that, I could modify it and I could do some more stuff to it, just like I used to do back in the old days, but on a whole nother level. when I was a kid, I used to modify my trucks and stuff. I had all the Nylants and the or not the Nylants, the Nikos and the Tychos and the even Tamiya stuff we had back then, like the Midnight Pumpkin and, you know, all the old stuff. And I still got some of them. I mean, look at that Sonic Thunder right there. And we'd take them, we'd modify them, put, you know, different wheels and tires on them, and just we'd try to figure out how to do things with the bodies. But this was different. This was a whole nother story. Straight axles and 4-link, 3-link, like you could do stuff, you know, coil over shocks. And so I was hooked. And I got on eBay and I started looking around, seeing what I could find, you know, from diorama stuff. Proline had just realized there was a market for it. And so they created their first ever scale accessory packs. And I picked them up. I think they had 2 or 3 to offer at first, and I picked them up immediately. They didn't have any roof racks or anything like that out there on the market, so I made my own roof racks from scratch. And I picked up a New Bright JK 4-door body because it was the only Jeep body in 1/10 scale or close to 1/10 scale that I could find. And it was a Jeep. It's the only Jeep out there that I knew of at the time. And I didn't want a Lexan body, and I wanted detail. I wanted hard body detail. I liked the realism. And so that's what I went for. As soon as that thing showed up in the mail, which took like a month and a half because it was eBay in Hawaii, and oh man, it took forever. It was like the longest wait ever. But once everything showed up, I didn't hesitate, man. I started breaking it down and throwing stuff on it and wrapping chains around the bumper and playing with the suspension settings and trying to figure out how I could make it fit the wheelbase. And it wasn't long before I realized that I needed to go to the base of the problem, the root of the problem, which was the chassis. And I wasn't sure if anybody made a chassis or not, but luckily somebody did. There was, you know, a handful of other people around the country that were getting into scale crawling too, and it beat me to the punch a little bit. And one of those groups of people were a team of guys who went by TCS. They did scale competitions and rock crawling competitions, and they offered parts and stuff, you know, and upgrades and things, you know, to upgrade your axial trucks and your Tamiya trucks and other things. And they had won a bunch of events and stuff, and so I was intrigued. I saw the trophy things or whatever, you know, like the stuff on there, and I just, you know, their website drew me in, and they had a lot to offer on there. And one of the things they offered was X-Trail chassis, so I picked up an X-Trail chassis, and I assembled it all up, and I made a scale Jeep running a full droop suspension and 3-link or 4-link. I think it was, I don't remember. I think it was 3-linked front and rear for a long time. I honestly don't remember. But I do remember that it flexed so much that it was just insane. And I wound up putting limiting straps or limiting chains on the back to keep it from over-flexing and popping the shocks apart. Because you could over-flex it and it'd actually pull the caps right off the shocks, and all the oil would come out, and just a big mess. And everybody liked that at first. They liked all the flex, but it seems like the longer I've done this, the more I've wanted to get away from the flex. Anyways, yeah, that was how I got into building scale trucks, you know, and the rest is history. I mean, I built this one up a couple of different times, changed the paint, and added more accessories, and changed the suspension more, and made it more realistic. Then I aged it, and then I realized I didn't need to age it because I lived in Hawaii, and it was getting rusty anyways. And then I broke stuff and replaced stuff, and eventually I wound up having to move back from Hawaii to Oregon again, back to my home state. And when I did, it didn't have a place. I didn't have anywhere to put it, to bring it, and I didn't have the time frame available needed to get rid of it. Nobody around me at the time knew even what it was about or anything, and I mean, it was like I couldn't give it away. It was really weird. And now, I mean, good Lord, who wouldn't want an axial? But it's just, it was strange. So you guys don't get mad at me for this, but I threw my first scale truck in the dumpster. along with the T-Max, a Mini T, some, what are those called? The little 124 scale ones from some X mods. You know, I used to have X mod cars and stuff. I threw a whole bunch of stuff in the trash, man, just because I didn't have nowhere to put it, no one to take it, and we were out of money, out of time, out of everything. It was time to go. So I had to leave Hawaii on a real sad note, man. I lost a lot of stuff, and I still got a lot of friends out there I really miss, and it was really bad. And if it wasn't for my friends helping us out, we might not even have made it out of there, man. We might have been trapped and homeless, you know. It just, we wound up being there when the economy crashed, and it really hit our situation bad. Just bad timing. So anyways, no regrets. It was how I started all this, and if it wasn't for Hawaii, I wouldn't be who I am now. Because before I went to Hawaii, I was not the best person, and something about Hawaii and the people there changed me and made me a better person. And I carry that with me every day, and that's why I go back to Hawaii as often as I can. So anyways, you guys, that's probably enough for today. If you want to hear more about my story and how I got into all this and how I built up to where I'm at now and where I'm planning on going, let me know, and we'll do a part 2. It's kind of like a sit down, you know. If you guys enjoyed that at all, give it a thumbs up. If it was lame, go ahead, give it the thumbs down. It's all good. And just let me know what you think. Comments, shares. I want to help the RC community out as much as I can, and the best place to start is with who I am, so you guys know if I'm even worth listening to or not in the first place. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I think I'm done for the week. I'm going to take a day or 2 off. Alright, happy holidays, you guys. Talk to you soon.